Hello there, welcome to Joy News. Today, coming up, some victims of last week's explosion at a PRC experiencing mild to moderate hearing loss. We'll hear from a retired ear, nose and throat surgeon who is part of a medical team on the ground. Meanwhile, traditional leaders in a PRC caution against neglecting discussions bordering on redevelopment plans as they visit and commiserate with affected persons. Also coming up, the new Patriotic Party denies unfairly enforcing their regulations ahead of a national executive election slated for July. And have you ever thought that the local delicacy kokonte could help you maintain optimum blood sugar levels and lower the risk of heart diseases? We have details, particularly as you go for the weekend. You might want to give it a try. Well, we've got business, sports, world news and show business all coming up. Stay with us. My name is Mama Viosuabwa. The details of the stories now. Some victims of last week Thursday's explosion in a PRC are experiencing mild to moderate hearing loss. That's according to a retired ear, nose and throat surgeon, Dr. Paul Kwao Ntodi, the former medical director at the Efiang Kwanta Regional Hospital, who is part of a team engaged in a medical screening of the affected persons, says some of them now have an ear infection because although they were given prescription, they were unable to get the medication.
Report to the regional director that some of the victims of the disaster had ear problems. Some had perforated eardrums, bilateral, most of them bilateral perforation of the tympanic membrane, the eardrums, with associated hearing loss. So the region, that is the Western Regional Health Directorate, mobilized some of us, like myself, to come and help with the assessment of the victims, specifically those with ear, nose, and throat problems, ear problems. And so far, we've seen about 38 of the victims, most of them with bilateral perforation of the tympanic membrane, the eardrums. A few of them infected because even though they had been given prescriptions, I think they did not manage to get some of the treatment. One or two had their middle ear infected. And almost all of them had mild to moderate hearing loss. Apart from the physical exam, we also had to do what we call audiological examination, pure tone averages, to see whether apart from the lacerations or tear in the tympanic membranes, they have associated middle ear problem like ossicular chain disruption or inner ear problems like a destruction of the specific organ of Corti and the membranes in the inner ear and the hair cells, whether they have been disrupted, which can result in severe sensory neural hearing loss. And so far, our assessment is that most of them have just conductive hearing loss. Most of them. Conductive means there's a problem with just the tympanic membrane, which is affecting the conduction of sound from the outer ear through the middle ear into the inner ear. A few of them from the I've not done all the analysis of the audiological exam that we have done. We're going to do that. But preliminary comments just show that one or two may have mild to moderately severe sensory neural hearing loss. In other words, the inner ear may have been affected. We are yet to complete our report. So far, that is what I can say. In a layman's term, I would say that anytime there's a blast, we call it acoustic trauma. Anytime there's a blast injury can affect the eardrum. The eardrum is just like a membrane. It's a membrane. So the pressure, the external pressure can result in tearing of the drum, can destroy the outer part of the ear, the middle ear, and even go into the inner ear. So, and hearing loss from this can be either a conduction problem because of a tear of the tympanic membrane, a disruption of the small bones in the middle ear that help conduct sound from the tympanic membrane into the inner ear, or destruction of the actual sense organ, the main sense organ of the ear, that translates the sound into electrical impulses into the brain for the brain to interpret it as sound and give us interpretation. So hearing loss can be either conductive, in which case we have problem with the conduction as I've described, or loss of the sensory organ, which is sensory neural hearing loss, or a mixture of the two.
Okay.
And so far I'm saying that most of them have problems with the conduction. And the tympanic membrane, most of them will heal. The few of them that are sensory neural may also heal within 1 or 2 weeks. 1 or 2 may have a permanent injury. But so far we haven't found any profound or complete loss of hearing in any of the victims that we have examined today.
Meanwhile, traditional leaders in the Western region are worried that discussions on the redevelopment of Apiate may soon be forgotten should any major events come up. This came up when members of the Regional House of Chiefs visited those affected by the explosion to commiserate with them. In Natalia Kwanzaa has more.
Apiate explosion, like many other devastating disasters in the country, usually die out soon after new arrangements are made, but only on paper. The worried chiefs say they will this time show keen interest in ensuring the redevelopment of Apiate, as promised by the state, is implemented to the latter. Some of them expressed their frustration on what they say may be the possible neglect of the Apiate community soon.
The escort come on 10 bena escort ni twem na 10 bena ka ni accident. I'm going to produce them no mudi. Escort ngan. Escort ngan ntimi nkan. Opeso mo different man se for no. Why did you know why?
If you dan why say se bi shema ye gina ye
Ko bi shema ye.
ye ti mesre mo ye ben for no na mo mayen pe lawyer no bi na se mi mai na company no ye tu no mo kan se mi sa company na ama sa
Amazon company.
yes ye no mo kan ye that's a police for ebe ka kire say
President pa e hu na ke baboro no
sa escort na as moto bi ko bom escort no yin no
The state has since last Thursday put measures in place to assuage the pain and trauma of the people displaced by the incidents. The measures include the settlement of those affected who are now camped at Dumase, which is about 1 kilometer from the Apiate community. Currently, works at the camp, which is to serve as their temporary residence until the resettlement works are completed, is about 90% completed. The paramount chiefs of Esikado Keten, Nana Kobnan Ketia, and Wasamenfi Traditional Council, Tatrete Okwamwa Sechim, have assured the people and chiefs of their resolve to ensure that a thorough investigation is conducted and the necessary measures put in place to forestall a repeat of such unfortunate tragedies.
I've heard all the concerns raised by Nananom of this area, and they're employing the committee to help them to resolve this issue. And I believe the government is very strong on it. But the committee has a mandate. The committee's mandate is to raise funds and seek a disbursement in a transparent manner. The committee is so involved in reconstruction. But I believe along the line, before you disburse, you have to make sure the right things are done. And I can assure Nananom that I'm with them. And I believe this is why, in the sense, the government had one of us on the committee, being me. So we are on it. And we're not going to sleep over it till everything is done. So now we can get that assurance from me. And I believe I will be able to speak to my committee members to make sure our PRT comes back to life. And this is what we are offering.
This particular thing should not happen anywhere in Ghana. Already we had a closed-door meeting, and we commend the government for some of the actions taken already in terms of the Vice President coming, in terms of the fund, because one of the things we had thought about was to set up a special fund. But the government has set that fund up, and fortunately, in their wisdom, they brought one of our eminent chiefs, who is also a Wasachi, to be a part of it. So we're going to monitor it closely for accountability, responsibility, and integrity of the fund. There are lots, I mean, we see only the tangibles, but the intangibles can never be replaced. You know, the memories people are carrying with regard to this place, that is what makes this loss. You just don't know what to say, and it hits you. So we're all praying that the best will be done.
For Joy News, in Athalia Kwansa, Apiete.
Now, some residents and commuters in the Echuma and Wabieja South districts and Kwadaso municipality have raised red flags over the slow pace of work on the Tanoso-Apuakwa Road dualization in the Ashanti region. The perennial congestion on the stretch affects productivity, depriving residents of their economic prospects. Residents poured their displeasure when the municipal chief executive of Echuma in Wabieja South, Michael Ewuku Amoa, led a team of engineers to inspect the ongoing projects. There's more in the following report.
Sepase, a town in the Echuma Wabieja South municipality in the Ashanti region, has a population of over 5,000. Residents blamed the continuous robbery incidents and mob attacks
the biabati yewe ne metepa amnantie no nema bonesem wi nom kronosep obi jana de hokora ko bebi kakra bia na osuru obi so o mi de ma ye mistake bia de kura meje ato awon ma meto amakro ni dina say. The
residents spoke to Ishra News when the municipal chief executive Michael Ewuku Amoa and the police inspected the construction of police posts and other ongoing projects. The MCE says the project will be completed in less than a month. He claims persons perpetrating crime are not from Sepase but adjoining districts.
This place appears to be a dormitory for miscreants. You arrest them, you realize that these are not people who hail from this community or they live here. They would move from the neighboring communities to come and then do whatever they seek to do. And this is something that has been a very worrisome situation for us and the police. If we are not careful, we will lose this community. If we are able to put this one here, it's going to enhance the security situation tremendously.
District Police Commander Superintendent Vitus Napeng believes these challenges will be dealt with drastically with the completion of the police station.
The police station is very relevant for us, taking into consideration the community of Sepase. It's one of our flashpoint areas in the district of Wabieja. And when it is operationalized, it would register police presence in this community, and which will abate situation of violent behavior here.
Meanwhile, the Assembly is constructing a court complex in Tuase and Ibuakwa to fast-track trials of cases.
Now, Public Sector Workers Union is urging government to halt plans to relocate the Arts Centre from its current location in Accra to Kaukudi and Dodowa. Divisional Chairman of the Centre for National Culture of the Union, Isaac Mensah, at a news conference, said the relocation will affect their business. The relocation forms part of government's quest to redevelop the coast of Accra as part of a $1 billion Marine Drive project. There's more in the following report.
Following the announcement of the Marine Drive project, traders and artisans at the Arts Centre here in Accra have been told to relocate to Kalkudi and Dodowa. Despite not being opposed to the $1 billion project, the Workers' Union is concerned businesses currently operating at the Accra Arts Centre will be negatively affected.
We want to place on record that we are not against the Marine Drive project. neither is any interested party nor our associate against the Marine Drive project. No, we are not. In fact, we rather embrace it. Currently, as we speak, we have reputable artists whose works are here. They are stored for international clients who come over here to purchase. And many other people who have their resources here. You are giving us less than even 2 weeks. How do we go about this? How do we remove our fittings and all that? But out of good faith, we are respectfully calling on government to halt this relocation, and then we sit down and discuss the way forward.
MP for Klote Kole constituency, Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, said her appeals to the Ministry of Tourism hasn't yielded any positive result.
But in 2018, I actually wrote a letter to the ministry requesting that they make known exactly in detail what the plans for the Arts Center are, so that we can have some stakeholder engagement. With all due respect, the artisans here are not going around with a begging bowl. They are not looking for welfare, nor are they looking for compensation fees. What they want is their livelihoods protected and the sustainability of the jobs that they do. Some of them have been here since the inception of this place. And let's not forget, they have almost 1,000 apprentices over here who are training, some of whom are in training for 2 to 3 years. This is creating a source of employment and skills development for the youth. The government cannot employ all the unemployed youth in Ghana. And that is why we're here, to demand that the ministry should reconsider.
Some traders at the Arts Center have been sharing their frustration.
Even if you want to move people out of this place, you have to organize it very well. You can't just tell us you are creating you are constructing a marine drive here, and we are all in Ghana and we know how things works. You understand? It will take you like 15-20 years before you move people, you complete this marine drive. Or even if with data, can't you just build a marine drive with the art center within it?
To us, because where we are moving to is a new place. You see, some people don't know there unless they take location. So for that, we are not happy about that. They still want here.
It is not clear whether government will heed their calls. Efua Prekoa Boafo and Tasha Michelle's report for Joy News.
And today we've been interacting with some drivers at the Circle New Plan Station on Ghana's driver licensing regime. The drivers, while applauding the inclusion of an examination to test knowledge on road signs and the compulsory eye testing, they underscored the need to weed out corruption in the license acquisition process. Some also suggested the inclusion of psychological tests for drivers as part of the licensing process.
Here at the New Plan Station here in Circle, we'll be interacting with some of the drivers to find out from them their general experience while going through the licensing regime here to become certified drivers to be on our roads here. I have one old man who is from the old system who was there in the beginning days of licensing in Ghana. And then I have a gentleman, relatively younger gentleman, who would walk us through his experience going through a newer regime here. Honorable, good morning. What's your name?
My name is George Kwabra Grant. Okay. And you know, we drivers, everyone had a signboard. Yeah, so my signboard I've been written on my car is Barlow, the popular known Barlow. Okay. Yeah, man.
So, yeah. Mr. Grant, yeah. You are from the old school. Tell me about your licensing system. How was it for you?
Oh, my license correcting as a license driver, that was 1980. I collected my license driver 1980 at Tema, Harbour Road. One Corporal Jemfi, he gave me the license. And I just pay 1 CD. The old time is 10 CD or something like that, 1 CD. And I pay at Tema.
What were you asked to do before the license was given to you?
Oh, but then you go, there's no land. Me budget driving license. Then I ask you to sit here. Are you ready? They say yes. You say yes, I'm ready. Okay, come. Then they take you to some old car, Bedford, petrol. If you are ready to come and get license, sit in this car. Do you know how to drive? Yes, I know how to drive. They put the key on the car, spark, and you spark it. They say go forward. You go forward. Come back. There's a drum, engine oil drum. Then they put it 2, 2, and 3. So when you go forward and you come back, when you hit the drum, you fail. You won't give the driving license.
So there was nothing like exams?
No. No checking for checking for things and other things, but only the gallons. You go forward and you come back. When you hit the gallon, that's all. Yes.
I'll come back and ask you what you think of the new system now. Okay. Let me come to this gentleman who preferably not want his face to show, but has a lot to share with us as well. Please, what's your name?
Michael Osei.
Okay. Michael, so you are relatively young with the newer system. How was your experience for you?
I think the new system of receiving a driver's license, I went through the driving school, but before then I went to driving school, I had already learned how to drive in the house because I had opportunity of my uncle teaching me how to drive in the house. Then the moment I went to the driving school, I think I was trained at the driving school for 3 months. So you go for exams every day, like at the driver's licensing school. So after that, and then they took me to the DVLA to have a learner's license. And then after the learner's license, you have some time to be updated, like come for your exams. So we went there, and then they put us in the room. We're like, let me say like 30 people in the room. So they put you in the room, and then they bring the exams to you. And then how it was like this, people that can read and write, they separate you from people that could not read and write. So if it is Twi or whatever language you could do, the other people will translate it into that your local dialects.
So it was a live translation of the questions on the board?
Good. So they will just translate it to you, and they will give you the possible answers, and then you would have to choose what you think is right. Yeah. So, and then I think it had a percentage that it qualifies you. I think it was after 70% and above that you are qualified to receive the license. So that was how it was done, and then we went through the eye testing. All these things were part of it before you could qualify. If you fail in the eye testing too, you can't be given a driver's license. You would have to go back to the school, or you would have to. They would have to refer you to an eye clinic for you to go there and also check or be treated before you come back for it.
You mentioned at some point that some people do underworks, so you could either pay your way out and some of those. I mean, how do you think that worries the system that we have?
What worries the system is that I think it's about probably most people go to that where I saw all these secret things is about where the eye is being tested. Most people go there and then they are not being tested. You just go there and they just give it to you because probably your eye, you have a little problem because you would have to be marked by the eye clinic, and then you bring that resource. I think they write on it nil or whatever if you qualify. But then mothers go there and just, this woman is there, just give the person something. You'll be told outside. You'll be told outside. When you go there and then because Charlie, the eye people there, they are really straight. That was what they'll tell you. They are really straight. So when you're going, just make sure you just give them something.
Let's do some partisan politics now. The governing New Patriotic Party has denied accusations it unfairly enforced regulations it instituted barring campaigning ahead of the party's Congress in Kumasi last month. Some supporters of the Trade and Industry Minister, Lantremating, who's reported to be eyeing the party's flag bearership, have accused the party of giving undue advantage to Vice President Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia is also believed to be nursing hopes of contesting to succeed President Akufo-Addo. But speaking at a news conference, General Secretary of the party criticized the conduct of such supporters, arguing it will distract the party's internal reorganization.
Code of conduct, which is only supplementary to the provisions of the NPP Constitution, expressly provides clear procedure for handling alleged breaches and non-enforcement of its contents, as the case may be. We wish to encourage our members who feel aggrieved in one way or the other regarding the enforcement of the Code of Conduct, particularly as it relates to presidential primaries, to take advantage of the express provision in the code and petition the National Complaints Committee for the necessary redress, rather than holding press conferences and accusing the parties of selectivity. It is important that we take note of this. Now to the rules and regulations. The party put together what we call polling station and electoral area election committee to supervise our polling station elections and electoral area coordinators elections. The polling station elections shall be held from February 19 to March 5, 2020. Electoral area elections shall be held from March 18 to 20th March 2020. There shall be constituted 2022. There shall be constituted polling station electoral area elections committee to oversee the organization of the polling station electoral area elections in each constituency. The polling station and electoral area elections committee shall be constituted as follows: one regional representative appointed by the regional executive committee, who shall chair this committee. The constituency chairman is a member of the committee. The constituency secretary, who shall be the secretary to this committee. The constituency research and election officer. The constituency council of elders chair.
And that's the General Secretary of the NPP. Now, did you know consuming traditional staples processed through solar or sun drying like kokonte could help you maintain optimum blood sugar levels and lower the risk of heart diseases? Well, a research conducted by the Department of Food Science and Technology at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology shows foods processed through solar drying processes lower glycemic index, which is healthy for consumption. Emmanuel Bright Kweku of our science desk has more.
Rabi Mohammed is a konkonte processor at Eija.
We first dry it and then mill it to be used for kokonte and tuozafi. They are very nutritious.
Konkonte Laba Asari Donko shares with me why he loves the delicacy so much.
The other side where people of today, when you mention abetia la prewa kokonte, you know, they will go like, as if they don't like it. But when you go to the chop bar, that's the food that gets finished, you know, first.
Studies have confirmed that foods with lower glycemic indices like wheat, oats, and brown rice are recommended foods. You might be wondering what glycemic index is, right? Glycemic index simply is a rating system for measuring how food, when taken into the body, increases blood sugar level. When foods containing carbohydrates are consumed, the digestive system breaks these carbohydrates into simple sugars and then enters the bloodstream. These products, upon entering the bloodstream, may either quickly or slowly increase blood sugar level.
The high glycemic foods are those that will release sugar or glucose very fast into the bloodstream, as compared to the low glycemic index. They do it gradually. So people like diabetics, for instance, would want foods that will release sugar gradually because of the issue with insulin regulation or insufficient insulin. Is that okay?
The researchers, Professor Faustina Dufie-Rekumenu and Yao Jewu Atrekon, decided to determine the effect of some food processing methods on how starch is made available to the body, and also predicted the GI of some cassava-based traditional staples consumed in Ghana. The food processing methods included boiling, steaming, fermentation, and drying.
Okay, as part of expanding our knowledge on glycemic index analysis and the perception people have about cassava-based traditional staples, we decided to also go further to look at the traditional foods, how processing affects the glycemic index of these traditional foods. Cassava, as already mentioned, has a lower glycemic index, around 47 thereabout. But after processing, we realized that some of them used to have higher amount of glycemic index, and people have the perception that they are being implicated in certain cardiovascular diseases like diabetes, stroke, and others.
The research published in the Journal of Food and Nutritional Science established that cooked konkonte with sun-dried cassava flour possessed a significantly lower glycemic index of 40.02%. However, boiled cassava and acheke had higher GI values of 77.30% and 79.05% respectively.
With the konkonte, with that of the solar-dried, the glycemic index was between 60 thereabout, which means that it falls within the medium glycemic index values of foods which normally release glucose but not at very high compared to the higher glycemic index values. Even with that, as I mentioned earlier, the sauce or the soup that is being consumed along also have the tendency to bring the glycemic index down, which will mean that its effect on health will be minimal. Then the sun-dried one gave a unique value, which was among all of them was the lowest. Even compared to the fresh cassava itself, the konkonte sun-dried one was very low, implying that its consumption to all standard should be promoted, and it will have limited or no effect as far as glycemic index or glucose rise in an individual is concerned.
The research work also recommended that food processors should ensure the use of sun or solar drying to produce lower glycemic index food products. From Kumasi for Joy News, Emmanuel Bright-Kweko reporting.
Let's stay in Kumasi because hundreds of residents and corporate bodies are expected to participate in the Love and Insure FM Fitness Walk this Saturday in the Garden City. The health and wellness event will take off from the Kumasi City Mall with an aerobic session. Some participating businesses are already promising exciting packages for patrons. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong has more.
Participants of the fitness walk will be walking through selected streets in Kumasi. The event is to get corporate Kumasi fit and healthy for a productive 2022. The walk also seeks to strengthen the bond between Love and Insure FM and its listeners. It also offers opportunities for socialization and business contacts. Eric Inkum is coordinator of the fitness walk.
In fact, it's going to be fun. So come with the family, your wife, your friends, colleagues at work. Come and let's have fun. Let's walk and have fun as well. You know, your health is your wealth. So come and let's walk through the principal street of Kumasi whilst we keep fit.
The fitness walk involves exercises and aerobic sessions led by Philip Kweku, senior gym instructor at the Pulse Fitness Gym. He takes us through some physical fitness tips.
When we set off, we are going to do stretching. Warm-up exercise. You warm the body up before we set off. When we are back after the aerobics, we are going to do stretchings to relax the muscles. And this is not challenging. You are not going to do a marathon or something. On your own pace, I think we have Jama groups, so you can join the Jama group. We have the brass band, you can join them. This is not challenging that we want to see like who will be first. So go on your own pace. I think if you are tired, I think we have ambulance, we have some cars who will be going along with us. We just call attention. Then maybe if you are tired, you can sit in the car for a while. When you catch your breath, then you join back again.
Some businesses sponsoring the event are looking forward to connecting and treating participants to some goodies.
My name is Abigail Amwakwa Obeng.
I'm the CEO of Kokora. They should expect nothing but the best. Kokora is poised to give you breakfast after the hard, exercise, walking. We are poised to give you breakfast to relax you and then to move on throughout the day. Come and enjoy our breakfast and come and have fun.
I think first of all, we are proud to be associated with this year's edition of the Love Fitness Walk. And what patrons should expect from us is that in the last 2 years, we have positioned ourselves as one of the key partners for the SME business in Ghana. And patrons should expect that we'll mount an SME clinic where we will educate patrons on the products and services that we offer at Easeways Savings and Loans.
So we are here at the Kumasi City Mall where the Love FM Fitness Walk is happening. Charlie, come and let's walk for good health. And there'll be refreshments from sponsors, so many networking opportunities. You don't have to miss this because there will be aerobic session as well. And Charlie, we're going to have fun. So make sure you are here on Saturday for the Love FM Fitness Walk. From Kumasi for Joy News, Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
And from Kumasi, we return to Accra, where Bishop Emmanuel Akon of the Victory Bible Church has prayed for the Multimedia Group Limited to birth new brands and continue to dominate the media landscape in the country. This came up at the group's annual Thanksgiving service held on the theme, God is still with us, and for us, he will turn our mourning into joy.
Come on, clap for yourselves. One of the programs I love, and I still love, I love from beginning to the end, is the walk with Jesus. I still love that work. Amen. And the Saturday 9 to 12, correct? Home Affairs. What's the name? No, Home Affairs. Home Affairs is in the morning. That's in the morning. That one was Newspark. Thank you. Home Affairs was powerful. When hallelujah. When we're sleeping, we're not sleeping late. It was about what is meant to. Hallelujah. And then there's another one too. Adum FM still ranks high of all the local languages. From my understanding, Adum FM is number 1 of all the local. I hope I'm right. So you know that as for you, this is not true. It didn't happen like this. Something is going well for you. He will make my feet to be able to climb. When I couldn't go before, he will make my feet to be able to get there. Doors that refuse to open, he will make them open. He will make my feet like hinds feet. It doesn't mean I'm a deer or a female deer. It means that he will make me do the things they do. And when if there is any mountain ahead of you, God will make your feet. 2022, every mountain will become a plain. I said every mountain will become a plain. I said every mountain will become a plain. Every valley will be filled. Every crooked path will be made straight. Every rough patch will be made smooth. Shout a big amen, somebody.
And the occasion also saw some staff of the group receiving awards. Joy News editor Sairam Francisca Ablade Souza was one of them.
It's a peer review award. The platform barred outsiders from voting, and so it was just among ourselves. And so it's good to see and know that what you do is recognized even by your colleagues. And yeah.
So, what motivates you to work harder?
You see, you must always work the way you would want somebody to work for you, and for me that's one of the mottos I live by. Do it as if it's yours, so that someone else would also take care of yours better. I just want to thank my colleagues and say God richly bless them for the confidence reposed in me, and that it will spur me on and urge me to do more.
We've got business coming up here on Joy News today. Please stay with us. Well, welcome to business. The Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has charged the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority to put in more effort to reduce revenue leakages at the ports. According to him, this will bolster the government's quest to significantly improve Ghana's tax to its relative size of the economy from 13% to some 20% by the year 2024.
The Finance Minister made a call at the International Customs Day celebration under the theme Scaling Up Customs Digital Transformation by Embracing a Data Culture and Building a Data Ecosystem. In a speech read on his behalf by George Brefo, Ken Ofori-Atta charged the division to work efficiently to support government's quest to boost the country's revenue.
I'm confident that there is more that GRA and Customs Division in particular can do to further enhance its level of efficiency whilst reducing revenue leakages at the ports to its barest minimum. Towards this effort, the ministry believes that it will add on significantly in improving Ghana's tax to GDP ratio from the current 13% to 20% by 2024. This goal obviously requires the Customs Division to take advantage of available data from key institutions like the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Airport Company, as well as regulatory bodies for purposes of revenue assurance.
In addition, the Finance Ministry also assured the Customs Division of its total support to achieve its goals.
I'm hopeful that this session will afford you the opportunity to discuss and identify good data cultural practices that can propel the Customs Division and GRA as a whole to build an ideal data ecosystem that will not only promote public accountability but also improve customs processes. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, be assured that the Ministry of Finance will continue to support you, particularly all custom-related matters geared towards revenue mobilization as well as border controls.
Meanwhile, Reverend Dr. Mishadai Owusu Amwa, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, has hinted that his outfit is working on a data warehouse system for the GRA, which is set to be completed by middle of the year.
We are working on a data warehouse system for the entire GRA, and this data warehouse system will ensure that the customs data is integrated into the domestic tax data and also integrated into third-party data, which includes the DV, LA, lands, and many other departments, SNIT, and the rest. And this is going to be a huge database that allows for cross-referencing and identifying opportunities for compliance as far as tax payments are concerned. I must say that this project is far advanced, and we are expecting that it will be completed by the middle of this year. And we will continue to build on the database and to ensure that data and data ecosystems becomes one of the best in GRA, one of the best in the world found in GRA.
This year's celebration was climaxed with the distribution of the World Customs Organization certificate to some personnel for displaying high level of professionalism and hard work along their line of duty.
And that's it for business. We've got world news and show business coming up, but first we'll bring you sports.
And you're welcome to Showbiz on Joy News today. And in the news, musician Sefa has spoken about men who have sex tapes of women and use that against them, sometimes blackmail them with that as well. She thinks that men who do that can do better. Yeah, it's Sefa.
I just think it's very sad. It's very sad. And not only because these females are celebrities or anything, but any sort of female, because I mean, women, we are very vulnerable. And when it comes to love, we are like children. We do anything to make our partners happy. We do anything to make us happy and make our relationship go far. But I think that when it comes to intimate intimate time with somebody. It should be something that should stay between the two of you, and other people shouldn't even know about it. And people always forget that in as much as somebody is celebrated, doesn't mean that they are not human beings. Yeah. They have the same feelings you have. They feel everything you also feel. So if you're trying to make them feel like, okay, they should be stuck to you because they are celebrities and you want to have something against them, it doesn't make sense to me. I just think that we men should learn to do better. They should really learn to do better.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And Safa is set to have a concert in the Volta Region Hall Sports Stadium tonight. Away from that, let's talk about some issues that have been going on in terms of African prints here in the country. The Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker of Parliament has been wearing some African prints. On the back of that, Mr. Logic, a pundit on Showbiz Daybreak Hits, spoke about the fact that women actually do not allow men to wear African prints. Some women do not really entertain men wearing too much of that. Here is Mr. Logic.
Though some of us who don't wear the African wear always so. I don't find you attractive. I'm telling you.
That's not true.
It's not true.
No.
Yeah, if you like your girlfriend, yeah, I don't know but your girlfriend, wear African wear.
Don't know your girlfriend.
Wear African wear from Monday to Friday. I don't know. Say which African.
No,
Really?
Then you should
that's true.
because there are very stylish ways.
I am telling you, it's the women. The women are the reason why the men are not being able to.
It's true.
Because you guys should say,
so
why are you wearing?
So do you see what the Honorable Speaker is doing?
No. What he's doing there is perfect. I mean, he's selling Ghana.
All right, so that was Mr. Logic on Daybreak Hit this morning, speaking about the wearing of African prints by men and why some women do not make men wear them often.
All right. KMJ, thank you very much. That's your show business indeed. That will be it for Joy News today. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mama Vio Swabwaji. On behalf of the production team, we thank you for watching.